What is going on? I'm getting the red on air sign, which means we're live. The chair is a little lower than normal, but I'm not shrinking. These guitars are getting longer. Pretty crazy. We have 30-inch scale guitars for you guys. So we're doing 30-inch scale, Aries, Delos, and you can see it. Maybe one or two, at least one solo behind me. So we have 30-inch scale options. Pretty crazy. We did the new Kyber, we did kits, and now we're doing 30-inch scale guitars. It's almost like we listen to what you guys want. It's pretty crazy. I'm Jeff. This is the Kiesel Guitars Live Q&A. This is your opportunity to ask me whatever you want to know. Typically, I will show off a customer guitar. I may have a deal of the live, or I may have something brand new and exciting. And the case today is I have brand new and exciting, and I have a deal of the live. Yeah, what a fun time to be a guitar player. I feel like a lot of really, really cool stuff. We're doing a lot of neat stuff here. There's also a lot of neat stuff out there. So I'm pretty stoked to be bringing you guys this new announcement. But before I get into I guess the guts of the 30s, I'm going to show off my deal of the live if I don't fuck everything up and bang things. Okay, so Brandon, can you see that okay?
Yep.
All right, so this is a metal flake, heavy metal flake Kyber. It's a special blue. It's not a normal blue. We did a blue. I wanted something that looks more like a lightsaber blue color, so a very deep, dark blue. We did a Vader-inspired one. That one sold. That was a red one. This blue one is up for grabs. It has a very badass Pale Moon board that I picked out myself and did a matching headstock on there. It just kind of follows it all the way up. It has a 3-piece all maple neck because I didn't want to take any attention away from the fretboard or away from the beautiful body. We have the beautiful Kyber logo backplates, or backplate, and then the ebony standard trem backplate. This guitar, I did mess up when I told Brandon, but I'm going to hold the price at $26.99. So you can call my guys and grab this. Amazing 25.5-inch scale, 6-string Kyber loaded with beryllium pickups. Our new switches are really badass. This also has a push-pull, so it does all 6 positions. So super cool. So if you want that guitar, you can call my guys and grab it. We could ship it out tomorrow. $26.99 does it. Okay, so 30-inch scale. You guys might be going, what do I need that for? And you might not need it. The idea with the 30-inch scale allows you to get that 8-string low tuning with really great tension, and you're dropping off your 2 high strings, right? A lot of this music, people are realizing they don't need all 8 strings. They're only using 2, 3 strings, and then maybe some chord stuff where you would need 6. And so that's what we're doing here, right? And so we're loading these up. You can get either the Aries or the Delos, 6-string, fixed bridge, 30-inch scale, Evertune, 30-inch scale, and then the solo. Because it's a single cut, I'm only offering it with Evertune. The reason why is the Evertune bridge, it's heavy, it's big, the bodies are thicker. It's going to help balance this guy out. I mean, look at the size of that. It's massive. It's amazing, though. These have all the same features you know and love from all the new updates we've done, the new neck heels, the better access down here. It's got all the great stuff. So now is your opportunity to be able to get a 30-inch scale customizable from us. All the normal options you know and love. There are some limitations for this model. We're going to have, I think, a full launch on it next week. The reason why we're going this week is I'm out of town next week, so we wanted to do something just to kind of show these off. Some of the limitations. We are doing dot inlays, so you can do centered, staggered, all staggered and offset. You can do rings in the same pattern, and then you can do blocks. That's what we're offering. We're not offering the K in combination with that. We're not offering the crescent inlay. The reason why is it's a lot of extra programming. And we realize this is a kind of a niche market, and we're just trying to get in with you guys and get you guys some great custom options, because we realize there's not a lot out there. There's some builders that will take 2 years to build you a guitar, and you're going to be $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. There seems to be some overseas stuff that maybe, the quality's not up to your playing capability. And we feel that's where we're going to come in right in a sweet spot, and, get you guys dialed in. So F sharp will be the standard tuning. And then you can do drop E, and that's going to be with the same strings we supply. Now, when you do have an Evertune, something that we learned on the longer scale is you don't just get to throw whatever the hell strings on there you want and do whatever tuning you want. Because the scale is so long, the strings are getting pulled a certain amount. You can either break strings from just trying to tune. You can have the string be a little too floppy. You can have the string not quite get to the right pitch. So that's something to keep in mind with an Evertune and this much tension. You may have to figure out what works for you. We have gone through and we've figured out about 6 different tunings, and we will supply that information for you guys. So if you're wanting different tunings beyond what we are going to set these up from the factory, you guys can go ahead and get different strings, put those on, and then get different tunings. If you're concerned about that, both of these models can come with a hip shot fixed bridge, and then you can do whatever tunings you want. And the reason why the Evertune is more sensitive is there's a bunch of springs back here. And how the system works is the string is pulling and is putting force against that spring. Well, because the string is so long and the bridge wasn't necessarily designed for a 30-inch scale, it's more sensitive to tuning. It's staying in tune amazing. They play amazing. It's just your quirky tunings may be harder to dial in with the particular gauge you're used to. Having said that, if you've ever experienced longer scale guitars, typically you go down in gauges because the tension is so great. You actually don't need the fatter strings. There's no reason for it because you're pulling the string tighter over a longer distance. They're really cool. With the Aries, you're able to get double humbucker in the bridge only. With the Delos, you can get double humbucker. You can get HSS as seen here, which I love this particular guitar. I think it is so badass. I can totally see duplicate builds of these selling. These are not for sale, these particular guitars. I know that will be a question that's going to get asked. These are not up for grabs. I know this is my normal deal of the live space. These are going to be for our use internally. We also have some artists that these are already promised to. Let me grab another really cool look. I absolutely love the way this one looks. I put all the builds in and I didn't think that this was really going to do it for me as much as it is. I guess the reason why I put it in is just to have some, variety, but I love the blocks. Just love how simple and clean this is. The reverse headstock. So I'm like a bull in a china shop today. I got too many long guitars, man. This is crazy. What do you guys think about these 30s? Look at this one. Love that. Mark singles and then a lithium or maybe an Empyrean. I don't remember what we put in this one. Empyrean. Yeah, Empyrean. But that is badass. Love the way that looks. What are people saying, Brandon? They like it? They don't like it?
They dig it.
Yeah?
People like it.
Cool. That's awesome. Tighten my microphone down here.
Whoops.
All right, so let's do some questions. So we, obviously we got these new 30-inch options. We're looking at same build times. We're quoting about 12 weeks right now. And everything's all engineered, figured out, designed. We've built, I don't know, what did we build? About 15 of these, Brandon? Something like that?
Something in that ballpark, yeah. Somewhere between 10 and 15. Here's a good one. It's not necessarily a question, but they said they wanted to put in a sleep token inspired build soon, and this is the perfect option because he uses a 30-inch scale length.
That's beautiful. Love that. Yeah, you got Sleep Token is someone that, Mark Akubo turned me on to a couple of years ago and was like, dude, you got to make these 30s. And, we started kind of poking around at it, a while ago. They're obviously really popular, and it's going to be neat to see these out in the wild and see what you guys do. With these.
Is there going to be chrome or gold hardware options?
So with Evertune, all we offer is black. That's not going to change. If you wanted to get chrome or gold and it was really important to you, you could always go the hip shot route on either the Aries or the Delos. And then you can get chrome or gold.
We got Trey Xavier in here. He says, holy hell, 30 inches.
Yeah, man. We were, we were talking about it for a while. We're like, yeah, some guys do 28.5s and there's 30s. Let's just go all the way. Originally we had kind of talked like, do we do like, maybe one model with a 28.5 and a couple other models at 30. And we just decided to do them all right at 30.
They're sick, Trey.
Yeah, they're crazy. Just the tension difference in the feel and the sound. And it's pretty unreal, actually. Like, I don't know. I mean, I get it, after, checking these out. It's really neat. I feel like if you're a studio musician or, your band does a lot of recording and you're in this scene, you definitely have to have one. And I think the Evertune's the way to go for them.
Are all of the different fingerboard options going to be available?
Yeah.
Fingerboard radius options, sorry.
The radius options, that's a good question. I don't know on that. I don't see any limitations because they're a 6-string. I think we can still pull off a 10-inch radius. We've done a 10-inch radius on a 4-string bass, so this should be similar. I think we can still pull that off. Let me see if I put any of these in with... That one does not. That one has a 14. I don't know if I did any of these with 10s. I don't remember. It was so long ago now.
Is there any issues with string breakage?
So string breakage would be if you have the wrong string on there. Yes, you can have that with any Evertune system or any bridge system if you can't quite get the tuning to what your liking is. And so we've gone through and figured all that out for you guys. That should be on the page, Brandon? Or is that something coming?
It's going to be coming.
It's coming, okay.
Yeah. Will you be able to set these up in the bass 6 tuning, which is just standard tuning an octave down?
Yeah, you can. You'll have to change the strings. These strings that are on there right now, or the way we're setting these up, you won't be able to use. We went with what the highest demand was, and probably the highest yield and use is. And so we were able to get the 2 different tunings that we're doing for these right now. But we've done some for some big bands like, double D drop. We did an E, a drop E tuning. What else did we do, Brandon, that we sent out? What was the last one we sent out?
That one was, it's basically standard tuning.
There was something different
but
about
you
it.
drop the E out, and then the low string is an E an octave down. So you have like 2 E's on the bottom, and then basically
That's
standard
right.
tuning besides
we dropped
the
D. D out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then even...
Yeah. Oh, we got the deal to live sold. Who is getting it? Derek Westholm.
Congrats, Derek.
I haven't heard that name for a little bit. What's up, Derek? He's back. Look at that. The Kyber. Thanks, brother. That's a rad one. It's a hell of a deal. I mean, if we were to put that on the site, you're looking at probably $3,200. I made a mistake when I was doing the math in my head, and here we are.
On the note of tunings, I think we still have one back there with what we were testing on.
Yeah.
We had bass 6 strings on there, which I think is a 26 to 90, and drop C, which that it works tension wise, but it sounds kind of ridiculous. I don't know
Yeah.
if you'd want to use that.
Well, and didn't you say too, like the bass 6 strings are all wound
They're
strings?
all wound.
There's no
Yeah.
plain strings,
No plain
which
strings.
is typically you're going to have 2 plain. Like with what we did, you have 2 plain strings and then 4 wound, which is going to feel more normal. It'll be an easier transition. So that's kind of what we were thinking would be the best. But you guys are always welcome to get these and do whatever tunings you want. Figure out what suits you best. We're giving you the tools to be creative.
Someone says, we got a 30-inch scale Kiesel before Grand Theft Auto 6. The laughing face. It's a joke because people have been waiting over a decade for Grand Theft Auto 6.
That's awesome.
Joe Brooks says, what are the string gauges?
Do you remember off the top of your head, Brandon?
Yeah, it's 13 to 72 set. It's the same as the, if you look up the Ernie Ball baritone set, the same gauges as those.
Yeah, and that was important to us to be able to get you guys a readily available set. So that's what we went with, was a Ernie Ball set. You guys can get them anywhere. Amazon, Guitar Center, wherever you need to go, you can get those strings. You're out on tour. It's easy enough to get. We didn't want to have a custom set made, and you can only get them from us. And, that's just a drag. So we wanted to do something that was off the shelf for you guys too. The guys put a lot of time in. Brandon and Macklin, they put a lot of energy and effort into getting these right. That's primarily what delayed our launch. We were going to launch this potentially, we were supposed to launch this before the Kyber, and here we are. So the Kyber is 3 weeks old today. We have sold a lot of Kybers. Oh my goodness, I can't even believe how many we've sold. It's pretty bananas. And there are so many in the back. Like, I told the guys I wanted to surprise, no rhyme or reason. I just said, go through and just blindly pick, 10 or 20 builds, and let's get people builds early. So there's about 10 or 20 of you that are going to get guitars super early, just because I wanted to do that. I didn't pick based on price. We didn't pick based on how many you've bought. It was just fully randomized. So I'm already seeing some in final paint. So some of you are going to be getting some early ones. It's crazy.
Man, we're getting a ton of comments, and I'm trying to get to all the 30-inch questions. There's a lot of people saying that they didn't see this coming, and they're stoked on it.
That's cool. Yeah. It's something that we've kind of had on our radar for about 2 years now. And sometimes things take a little while. We could be in the middle of something else. There's always stuff that I have going on. It could be revamp, it could be improvements. It could be, an area that we're, lacking efficiency in, and I have to get in and try to figure things out. Most of my work here is improvements. That's really what I, focus a lot of my time. It takes a lot of time. And then obviously the new designs and new models, which would arguably be an improvement, right? And then I'm doing builds. Today I worked on builds. About half my day I split with doing new builds and wrapping up some projects. I'm taking off Friday. I'm gone for a week, going on a little vacation.
We got our boy Enrico Gasparoni in here.
Yo!
He said, I just joined in the chat, is freaking out about this 30-inch scale. What did I miss?
Dude, you missed it, man. We offered 30-inch scales for 5 minutes. The first 5 minutes of the live, they were half off. You totally missed out. No, so 30-inch scale, we got Aries and the Dello. 6 string, these are only in 6. We're doing Evertune or hip shot fixed, no trems. And then in the solo model, because it's a single cut, we're staying Evertune only for the solo. So you get to pick, a more modern, aggressive shape, a classic double cut, a classic single cut, and customize it how you know and love from Kiesel. So pretty stoked on that. There are limitations within the model, and I feel like the limitations we've given you make a lot of sense. They're not for no rhyme or reason. It's just so that we're not creating a whole bunch of programs to sell like 5% more guitars. I think these models are definitely justified. I think they're needed. and warranted, and I think they're going to do really well. I don't know of anybody else out there that has an affordable, customizable, American-made option. And then at our price point too, right?
Are these 30-inch scales going to come in a longer case?
No, we're actually going to, yeah. I don't know. I don't have a smart ass answer for that. They're not going to fit in the normal case. Yeah, they're going to have to probably go in a base case. What did we ship the other ones out in? Were they base cases?
I'm pretty sure they're base cases, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we've shipped several of these out at this point. Some I can't tell you who they're out to. It is what it is. It's that, it's that game you play, So there are some high profile people that do have these, and we'll see what happens. That's all I can say. But we have shipped some. Looks like base cases, what's happening for these. I wish I had an interim in-between case, but I don't. I got to order containers of cases, and that just logically doesn't make sense to tie up that much real estate and that much capital. So they'll be protected, but there'll be a little extra room in there.
Someone said, if the 30-inch scales are half off, does that mean we only get a 15-inch?
Love it. Love it.
Are these 30s going to sound so heavy they bring down the Earth's gravitational field?
Well, it depends on your tuning, right? Like Brandon was talking about earlier, you can go F sharp, which is just 8-string tuning and dropping off the 2 high strings, and it sounds amazing, and you're not dealing with an 8-string. 8 strings are amazing. I'm not knocking 8 strings or 8-string players. I'm just saying if you're not using the other 2 strings, maybe this is what you've been looking for and you didn't even know it. You got to try one of these out. Order one. Get your build in. I think you're going to love it. You're going to have a use for it. It's going to be a great arsenal or great lineup in your arsenal for studio gear.
And we've got Johnny Highland in here. Weren't we talking about how it'd be cool if Johnny ripping on a 30-inch solo?
We do have a solo for Johnny. This one right here is for Johnny. We got to send it out to him.
Hear that, Johnny?
I told Johnny that I had something special for him. That was like 3 months ago when I thought we were getting close to being able to send these out. So sorry we're so delayed, Johnny. But I do have a solo for you right here.
Man, I can't wait to hear that guy rip on it. Let's get to some Kyber ones because we've already answered a bunch of questions about the
Kyber, man.
There's a bunch of Kyber questions coming through. Well, first one is saying, do you recall the lightest Kyber that has shipped out so far?
I don't know what the lightest one is. They're coming in just pretty much right at 6 pounds if they have a fixed bridge and the standard woods. They can be as light as 5.8 or as heavy as 6.2. Granted, there's ones that can be even heavier than that or even lighter than that. Swamp ash is obviously going to bring that weight down. I think around 5.5 is something you can see with the swamp ash body, roasted neck, roasted fingerboard, fixed bridge. They're amazing. And the other thing we're seeing too is a lot of people that have tried them out are blown away. I think, when there's change and there's new things, people go, oh, the strap buttons are on the back. What do I do? You just put your guitar on like normal and the guitar feels amazing. You don't need to worry about that. So, we've engineered it out and figured it all out. And the guitar is, the people that have tried it, some of the artists that have tried it that have come down are like, what the fuck? Like, why has nobody done this? This is so amazing. The way it pulls the guitar into your body, it's crazy. It's so comfortable. You're going to start seeing people doing this as you guys get your builds and you're going, holy shit, this is a thing. We've seen that before, guys. I mean, we're trying to pave the way with this guitar. You guys might remember, those of you guys have been around for a long time, I launched the Aries in 2015, and holy shit, the internet broke and was probably 60% hate. What are you doing? You can't carve away that much wood. You're an idiot. You're this, you're that. And look, everybody has their version of an Aries. Every guitar company, they have their version of an Aries. So, is the Kyber on that edge of what's to come from, other players in the industry. Are we going to see more, inspired things that come on the Kyber? Tremolos, thin trems, strap buttons on the back, the style of neck heel we have. Are we going to see some of that stuff? I don't know. We'll see.
Here's back to a 30-inch question. They're asking, what pickups would you recommend for it?
That totally depends on your playing. If you're going with, some really drop tune stuff, I would do an Empyrean and a Thorium is what I would do. If you're trying to get more of a classic sound, but you're just wanting different tunings, this is not a bad way to go. The Mark singles and a covered beryllium, that's a badass sound. Or you can even go Mark singles and then you can throw in, like an Illusionist, or you can throw in a Thorium. That would be okay too.
I just heard about the kits from the Know Your Gear podcast. How long will they be available?
We are almost sold out on the kits, to be completely honest. I ordered a certain number of hardware, and I am just about out. I'm a few away from being sold out. Like, I don't have 10 more kits to sell. So we are close to being completely sold out. It went over amazing.
Can we get the shorter, lighter trem blocks on other models besides the Kyber?
So what happens with that is the routing would all need to be changed. The springs would actually hit and dig into the body. So it's not something we're offering.
Is the Pickguard Delete Delos, HD, going to be coming as a standard model?
No, it's not. That was the reason I selected that, is I didn't want the model that we did as a kit for this limited time to be something you could get from us. I actually did, I had Kayla, I had my daughter yesterday, I said, here, hold the camera. And I took a kit myself and I just drew on it, took 1 minute, 2 minutes to draw on it. And then I took the bandsaw to it and shaped it. And I did my own kit yesterday. I don't know. I thought it came out pretty different from what the HD is. And we were going to kind of show that off, and that kind of, I don't know. I guess we didn't show it off. We were almost sold out on the kits at that point. It was like, what's the point in, hyping it and spending the time to edit the video and do all that? So maybe we'll do something with that video at some point. But yeah, you could totally shape the kit yourself. Obviously, there's parameters that are preset, like, length and width and things like that. But I mean, I got a very unique shape out of the guitar with zero thought process. It was like, oh, let's do this. Let's try that. And I just kept, it took me, I think it was 45 minutes start to finish to draw on it, cut it out, sand it, shape it, get it to where all I had to do was do some final sanding and it'd be done.
This next comment is, I low-key want to get a Kyber and then play some country on it. I love the ergonomics and the lightweight would be a huge plus.
I love that. I would love to see these in the country scene, to be honest. We talked about how cool it would be to throw like that ashtray bridge on there and throw a Tele pickup set in there. I seriously think that'd be badass. I think we should totally do it. Yeah, if somebody was down on this live, I would do it for you without any custom programming fee. So if somebody wants to do it, call my guys.
Is there any plans to eventually come out with a single cut equivalent to the Kyber?
No plans. I mean, I don't know if you guys know how much work goes into a new model, but right when you're done with a new model, the last thing you're thinking about is doing another new model. It's like, I just wrote an album. Like I need a little bit of a break. Coming out with things like alternate scales and things that you're already taking a shape that existed and maybe tweaking it a little bit. That's, easier to do. But when you come up with something fresh and, unique to your line and your thinking, the last thing I'm trying to do is like think of another new thing, right? So I'm just enjoying the Kyber right now. I'm really stoked on it. Could it be a single cut? I have no clue. Honestly, I haven't thought that far ahead. The thing I love about the guitar and that makes it so cool is the fact that it balances so well. And that would be a whole nother thing to work out, because I couldn't see just, adding on to where the upper horn is, be like a whole new neck. And yeah, I don't know on that, to be honest.
Enrico says, I'm excited to get a 30-inch with P90s for a funk machine. Will that be available on the builder?
Yeah, I think we should do P90s. I think that would be really cool. That is one of the things that have been requested. I think we could do P90s and probably the Delos and probably throw it in the Aries. Probably just do it in those two. I feel these are going to be the most popular ones for people to buy, but I didn't want, I'd buy it if you did a solo. So we just did a solo. We threw that in there. Plus, I got a buddy that, has been playing Kiesel a really long time. It asked me for a long scale, and I didn't want to leave him out. So he does have one, and I'm anxious to hear what he thinks of it.
If someone were to do country on a Kyber, what color would you do on it, Jeff?
Oh, man, I think what would be badass is do like a swamp ash body, do a traditional sunburst raw tone finish, do a plain maple fretboard, and maybe do some, either block inlays or dot inlays down the center of the neck, and do a matching headstock. I think that would be really cool. Just like, what the fuck? Like something like a little modern with the raw tone, but very classic country vibes, and obviously a very modern looking body. I think it would rip too.
Can we get an extra 10 minutes this live since you're going to be gone next week?
Yeah, we could do that. We're already two over right now. Yeah, it'll be good though. I think, doing these lives, it's neat to be able to bring you guys some new stuff. We haven't been able to catch up too much on like different things. The shop's doing great. I am hiring. So if you guys are in the area and you're able to come in and apply in person, and you think you'd be a great asset here, come in and apply. We don't take any applications over the phone. We don't do the, hey, I live in Texas and I'd move out there for you guys. We don't do any of that because, if somebody didn't work out, we're going to move them on, because the guitars are the most important thing here. We want to make sure we always protect that. We have high quality people that are interested in being here. And I would hate to have someone move out here to take a job that maybe didn't work out, because we have to protect this. We're building amazing guitars, and the men and women here are just, they're next level. Yeah, they're family. And it's really cool. We got a great vibe going on.
Is that a Richlight fretboard on the surf green guitar?
No, I think it's just rosewood, right? I can't see it from here.
Looks like it to me from here.
Yeah, rosewood?
Yeah.
Yeah. Richlight's just black. We offer black, and we offer a Maple Valley one. So it's either black or maple. We don't offer a rosewood variant.
When will these 30-inch scales be available for order?
Right now.
They can call in right now if they're not up on the builder now.
Yeah.
They should be up any minute now. So keep a lookout. Joe Brooks said he's working on a build for a 30-inch with the Kyber headstock on an Aries.
Nice. That's cool.
Do you have any Koa on order?
No, I have no Koa. I don't know if I'm ever getting it again. I have no Koa. So I have no Koa bodies, no Koa necks. I kind of told the story about that. Nobody told me we were that low. I would have given you guys a heads up. Instead, I got the heads up, hey, we have no more Koa. It's like, awesome. So we don't have any more. I have flame Koa for tops. I hope I can get more of that, but I don't have a lot of that either. So we're going to see a dramatic hike in Koa pretty soon for the flame Koa for the top. So if you want one, it's kind of last call to get the $500 flame Koa top. I don't know if things are going to change on that. It sucks. I love that wood. It's amazing. I did a lot of work with Koa, as I was a young person, working in a wood shop. And I took high school wood shop 4 years, and built a lot of really cool projects, and that was my primary wood I would use is koa. I loved it.
Obviously, those have been here for a while. Remember how much koa we used to do back in the carving days?
Yeah, I wish I would have stockpiled it, to be honest. We do a very good job. Like the other day, we were in the back and we were looking for, we were talking about the kits and like, oh, well, someone said to Brandon, oh, you can't do rosewood. We don't have very many fingerboards. So I took Brandon back there and I'm like, well, there's 750 and there's 650. And I mean, I have enough to do like, I think it was like close to 1,500 rosewood fingerboard guitars. So we're good on that. But like Royal Ebony, I probably have enough to do 1,200 to 1,500. We reinvest back in our company. We don't mess around. We want to make sure we're protecting, what you guys want and trying to keep everything in stock best we can.
This comment said, yeah, hide some of that for later.
Yeah, it's crazy. You don't know, like sometimes you go through these trends and something is really hot and then all of a sudden it's not for a while. It happens, it's things go in cycles.
Are any of these 30 inches going to be available lefty?
I don't think we're doing a lefty 30.
What saber finish would you pair with a blacked out ash body on a Kyber?
Blacked out ash body on a Kyber. I just did a red saber today, and I forgot how badass they are. I hadn't done one in a while, and I did one today, and it came out fantastic. And that one has a blacked out ash body. So I would say that it's really cool. And I mean, of course, always blue sabers are a really neat one. I wouldn't do green. I think green pairs well with like a roasted ash body. But purple could look cool. I would go red number 1, blue number 2, purple number 3.
Your favorite son is asking, can you make a guitar out of Beskar?
Yeah, you gotta love that. What's up, buddy? Got some Mandalorian action in here. Beskar steel.
John Gamrat is asking, will he be getting any monkey pod?
What's up, John? I have some. Yeah, it's not a very popular wood, at least for us. I probably have enough to do about 15 guitars. I've advertised it. I've done, on some tops, like pick your top sessions, and sometimes they sell, sometimes they don't. But like an alternate to koa, if that's what you're getting at, Tasmanian blackwood would be the closest. I don't know a lot about it. I've bought it before. I don't know the ins and outs of it, tone-wise and all that. It's something I would need to study up on.
What positions are you guys looking to fill?
I know right now we're looking for someone in fret dressing and someone in our hand sanding and body shaping departments. I know those two areas. I don't know what other positions. But I know those two because we have Monday morning meetings and we've been talking about, the fret dressing position. I had an employee recently move out of state, move to Arizona, and so we did lose somebody in our fret dressing area.
What pickups would you recommend for a 7-string with HSH?
It really depends, too, on style of music. Popular for 7-string, Empyrean neck, thorium bridge. That is something that's really popular. You could throw a lithium or a beryllium as a single coil in the middle and really have a lot of tonal versatility. We've had, some artists doing pickup testing recently, and they're blown away by just our stock lithiums and how great they sound. I think it's probably the most underrated pickup out there. If you were to do direct comparisons against pickups that are $200, $250 a piece, I mean, they hold their own right there with them. Previously, my favorite pickup was a Lundgren M-Series pickup, and that was a lot of my inspiration when I did the lithium. This is before, like the Ragnarok, bare knuckles were so popular. I mean, I designed the lithiums in 2014. And And my main focus was like, I love the Lundgren pickup. How do I get that type of sound without copying it? And I feel like we did a great job with it. It's a dope pickup.
All right, we're just about exactly 1 minute over. You want to do 3 more questions?
Yeah, we'll do 3 questions and we'll wrap it up.
There's been probably 4 questions asking, now that multi-scale Evertunes are officially available, any plans to offer them?
You know, I feel like if they offer us a reasonable price on them, yeah, I would be interested, but I'm not going to pay $200 more for a bridge. That it's just a plate. I'm not going to pay that much more. It's a lot of money. So yeah, if they come down to a reasonable price, and I've been transparent with them, the ball's in their court. If they want us to sell them, I just don't want to, have to charge you guys so much money for these. And I think that's a lot of extra money to pay for. I mean, it's just part of doing business. You have a company and you make a bridge and multi-scale is popular, you absorb that cost. Just how it goes, obviously like for us, we have a surcharge for multi-scale because of the fret slotting, because of the fret dressing, because when we go to mount the bridge, it's a lot more work. So we're charging for labor, but if you're just getting a plate stamped out, it's a plate stamped out. So I don't know if they get more attractive on their pricing, I'll play ball. But until then, I'm not going to offer it. So write your friendly Evertune person and let them know. Tell Matt over there, hey, dude, we want to buy a Kiesel. Give him better pricing. They're probably going to be mad at me that I just told you guys how much more they wanted to charge me. But I guess it is what it is. That's what's holding me up. That's a lot. When I charge $300 to go to Evertune, and then they want an additional $200 my cost to go multi-scale, it's like, nah, that's a lot.
If you were to make a guitar themed for Obi-Wan, what would you make?
Oof. I don't know. Which Obi-Wan are we talking about? We're talking about A New Hope Obi-Wan? Because I feel like that would be a different guitar. So let's go with that. We'll go with that one. I would make him a Kyber because, what Jedi isn't going to think a Kyber is badass? And I'd do a fixed bridge. I think what I would do is a roasted ash body, trans black burst, raw tone, do a roasted fretboard, roasted neck, no headstock overlay, black logo, black offset dots, not staggered, just offset dots. I think he would dig it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys dig the 30s. They're pretty dope. If you have questions, as always, call my guys. They're probably going to be confused about these 30s because, we kind of sprung it on them. I was like, hey, guys, let's just launch tomorrow. This was yesterday. Like, we've been ready almost for like 3 months. Let's just do it. So here we are, 30-inch scale, Evertune or fixed bridge equipped models from Kiesel. Get your custom American-made 30 later.